Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. If you haven't already, please smash a like on this video and hit that subscribe button as well. We are here today to discuss the big transfer news coming out of Arsenal today, and I am here and I am joined by my guy, the one and only Egal. How you doing, bro?
I'm chilling. How
Let me
you
just get
doing?
rid of this.
Kicking it,
Yeah,
bro.
man, good. Not bad, not bad. Big news coming out of Arsenal today. Let me just change this layout. Hang on. There we go. That's better. Yeah, big news coming out of Arsenal today. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Mesut Ozil is on his way out of Arsenal, joining Fenerbahce. Apparently, in the last few hours, he has come to an agreement with Arsenal to terminate his contract. And Fabrizio has said that he is expected to sign his contract as a new Fenerbahce player on Monday. Arsenal are also planning to sell Socrates in the coming days, and then they shall start working on new signings. What did you make of the news, Egal?
Okay, two ways. I first don't know how to feel about it because Mesut Ozil is one of those players that when he first came, if you remember, everyone was happy. You could see the pictures of everyone buying the kits and standing outside of the armory waiting for the new number 11 shirt to come out and Mesut Ozil to be unveiled. And transfer deadline day, everyone was hysterical. So to me, it's bittersweet because I really don't know how to feel about it. I'm kind of sad that it ended this way, but I'm happy for us as a club to be moving on, and I'm also happy for him as a player to be now getting first team football elsewhere, and he can show his skills and talent. And you know what? I will be tuning into some Fenerbahce games just to see how he does. I think it'll be quite interesting.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I think, like you say, when he first signed for Arsenal, everybody was hysterical. Me myself, I was hysterical about it all as well. For great player that we're getting here at Arsenal Football Club. And for the first few years, you see the difference in quality compared to him and everybody else that we had at the football club. But in recent years, it just has not worked out for him. He's become a little bit of a scapegoat, I would say, to some of the fan base for some of our poor form, especially. The big contract that was offered to him as well. A lot of people say £350,000, he's not worth that. I would agree with that. I don't think he's worth £350,000, but that contract was not, it was paid to him by Arsenal Football Club. That is not his fault. I just feel as though, a lot of what has gone wrong for him is down to that contract because people have seen how much money he's getting paid and they expect a lot more from him. But at the same time, he's a 31-year-old guy now. He's gone past his peak, and I think it's time to move on from him 100%. Where do you think it has went wrong for Ozil at Arsenal?
I feel like we never built around him. We never properly put the adequate pieces around him to become the player that we needed him to be. Because when you think about it, when he did have pieces around him that were good, they let him down. This is a man who created the most chances in a single season by a midfielder or a player at all in the Premier League history, and that is since '92 until now. There's nobody who has created more chances. He created 164 chances in that season, got 19 goals, 16 of them halfway through the season, and he could have easily broken Henry's record. He could have easily gone surpassed that. But you know what? And we almost won the league that season too. So to me, I would say they never did a good job building the team around him. They never did a good job executing the signings around him. You know what? We needed to sign Mesut Ozil, and he was a good signing. Let me say that first. But everything that happened after we signed him, we signed Alexis Sanchez, then we stopped. We should have continued. We should have progressed. We should have continued making things better. When we signed Petr Cech, if we would have went out and signed a good midfielder at that season, we would have signed a top midfielder that season. you know what? Sky could have been the limit. We could have won the league. The year afterwards, when Leicester won the league, if we would have went out and raided Leicester like we should have and got Conte and got Mahrez, because we were linked to both of them, if we would have brought both of those players into the team with Mesut Ozil, Alexis Sanchez, Giroud, all the pieces we had, imagine Conte sitting behind Mesut Ozil with Ramsey on the other side, or Jack Wilshere on the other side, or anybody else that we had in the midfield at the time. Oxlade-Chamberlain, I think we had at the time also. I'm just saying, bro, we never really did a good job building the team around Mesut Ozil, and that was to the detriment of the club. And we also didn't know when to cut the cord. When Alexis Sanchez was leaving, we should have let Mesut Ozil leave, but maybe not on a free, try to get money for it. We signed Mesut Ozil and Alexis Sanchez both for a total of 72 to 77 million. They both left on a free. We still will be suffering to this day from all those mismanagement of assets.
Yeah, I agree with you. Again, it's an absolute madness. Arsenal Football Club, like you just say, we signed them for, what is it, a combined fee of
77 million
£77 million, and letting these players go for free is just ridiculous. And the problem is we're still making the same mistakes now. It's an absolute madness to say that Arsenal Football Club is run like a business, but we let all our assets just leave for peanuts or nothing. It makes no sense whatsoever. On Mesut Ozil as well, what's your best memory of Mesut Ozil in an Arsenal shirt?
Bayern Munich, when we beat Bayern Munich, that game against Leicester, and Ludogorets. Those are probably the three memories for me.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you again. I think that goal against Ludogorets, where he just sort of scooped it over the keeper, sold two players a dummy.
Yeah,
it was sublime by him. Also, as well, another thing that you don't really, or a lot of people tend not to really focus on as well, is I think it was against Leicester. There was a shot. I can't remember who took the shot now, but it was going wide, and Ozil he just managed to keep it in. Just managed to keep it in. Was it against Liverpool?
Yeah, it was the 5-5 game when he passed it back to Ainsley.
That's right. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, the way he kept that in and still managed to find Ainsley Maitland-Niles in the box as well. It just showed the quality that the geezer had. Do you think we ever really got his full potential out of him?
I think we did. I think we've seen the best of Mesut Ozil in that season when he got the 19 assists. We finished second in the league. We were competing in the Champions League and the Premier League, and we still made it to the Champions League the following season, obviously by finishing second in the league. All in all, we've seen some good years from Mesut Ozil. You cannot take away what he's accomplished at Arsenal, even though it was not what every fan wanted us to accomplish. He did get some accomplishments. We can't be disingenuous to every little detail of his career at Arsenal because we don't like how a certain part of it went.
Okay. And what do you think the reasoning, like, it's a lot of speculation now, going on as to why he was left out of Arsenal, Arsenal's 25-man squad this season. Mikel Arteta said it's due to footballing reasons, but that is absolute load of codwallop. We know that. Do you think it's got something to do with the China thing, or do you think he just genuinely isn't suited to the way Mikel Arteta wants to play? Certain players in the squad have to be able to do a defensive job as well, and Ozil wasn't really renowned for that. What do you think the reasoning is?
Listen, I know I'm not going to get into all the political stuff. When it comes to footballing wise, he just wasn't producing, and you know what? The cost outweighed the benefit. That's all I'm going to say on that. The cost outweighed the benefit. At a certain point, they realized that the cost of having Mesut Ozil in the team outweighed the benefits of him playing on the pitch.
Okay. So lastly, then on Ozil, anyway, we're going to move on now. I'm sure Egal will join me in saying, good luck, Mesut Ozil. I hope you do really well, and thank you for you know, the memories that you've given to us here at Arsenal Football Club. And yeah, I just, you know, I wish you all the best.
Yeah, 100%. I miss Mesut. I wish Mesut Ozil the best. And you know what? Fenerbahce now have a footballing superstar in the sense of the word, because he might not be the best player in the world, but when it comes to fan base and notoriety around the world, this man is a superstar. He played for he was a German World Cup winner, German golden boy. What do you call it? The man could have played for, he played for Real Madrid, could have went to Bayern Munich, could have went anywhere in the world. He chose Arsenal at a time when we didn't have any stars, and you know what? Big up to him. And he's one of the first superstar signings that I can remember in the Emirates era.
100%, 100%. I'm just going to get into a couple of comments before we move on. I've got Devin here that says hi. Hi, Devin. Thank you for tuning in. You're always here. I appreciate it. We got Red Lucifer as well. He says, big up, guys. Big up to you, mate. How you doing? And Red Lucifer also says, is Fenerbahce still in the Europa League? I'm not sure. Do you know?
I can find out. I can find out. I don't really know if they. I think if they were still in the Europa League, I would have heard jokes about people saying, "What if we get Fenerbahce and all that?" You know, those things always happen. I'll check it out for us right now. 1 second.
Okay.
In the meanwhile, let me ask you this: what was it like for you getting Mesut Ozil when we got him?
Yeah, it was. Well, we'd moved into the Emirates, obviously, in 2006, and we was promised for a very long time that we was going to compete with the big teams, we was going to compete for the top honours, and we had this period where we was just, you know, selling our best players and buying in players on the cheap that we was, you know, hoping them were going to be good, players that could do a job and get us to where we needed to be at the time, which was in the top four. And Mesut Ozil was the first player to really come into Arsenal where you could sort of think, okay, times are changing now. We have got money now to go out and buy the top players that we need. So it was exciting. It was very exciting when, you know, we was linked with him. I sort of thought, yeah, this is typical Arsenal. This is we get linked to each and every player going, and then we never ever buy him. And then, of course, when it was announced that we was getting Mesut Ozil, yeah, it was complete and utter madness. And what added to the excitement even more, I would say, I don't think we actually really knew this at the time, but Tottenham apparently had said to Real Madrid, do not sell Mesut Ozil to Arsenal, otherwise we won't sell you Gareth Bale. And Real Madrid sort of went behind their backs and did it. So, yeah, Tottenham were not best pleased either with the fact that we'd signed Mesut Ozil. So, yeah, that added to the excitement even more. 100%. But anyway, we're going to move on from Mesut Ozil. And, of course, you've probably all seen it in the thumbnail. Mesut Ozil is leaving to Fenerbahce. But Arsenal Football Club, and when I say Arsenal Football Club, I mean these guys.
Josh,
this guy, Vinay, and Edu as well.
Yeah.
Where are the signings? Yeah, I understand we need to ship players out. That is fair, right? I get that. And, you know, 100% agree with it as well. But let's not forget, we are 11th in the Premier League. This season has not been good enough. We need players desperately. And look, ship these players out. Yeah, if they're not part of Mikel Arteta's plans, ship them out. Fine. But we need signings. We are now 16 days into the January transfer window, and we have not. Well, we have signed one player, but he is a player who is going to be part of the, you know, under 23s. He's not a first team ready player, and we're still basically stuck with the same squad that's got us where we are at the moment. So, where are the signings, Egal? What's going on?
Listen, I'm going to ask you a question. What's more important, getting a player in this window or getting rid of as many players as possible?
It's see, do you know what? At the beginning of the season, if you had have asked me this question, I would have said, right, if they're going to use January transfer window to get rid of the players that, are on higher wages, that are not going to be part of Mikel Arteta's plans in January, and then go out in the summer and buy players, then I would say fine. But I'm just looking at the way that this season has gone. Yeah, nobody has been consistent. Nobody at all. You look at the fact that we're 11th in the league. We are only 6 points behind Chelsea, and as much as people might say, oh, don't talk shit, Chelsea are miles better than us and this, that, and the other, it is only 6 points. And because of the way that the season's gone, if we get the correct players in this January transfer window, we could possibly make the top 4 just because of how crap the season has gone. So I think by not buying players in this window, we could ultimately shoot ourselves in the foot. It's all right going and buying big players in the summer and that, and getting better players in the summer, and I get all of that. But you got to look at the here and now, and the here and now is just, well, it's not been good enough.
Listen, Arsenal have a problem. We don't have enough registered homegrown players that are not under the age of like 21 or something. Think about, who do we actually have in the squad that is considered homegrown? Hector Bellerin, right? 1. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, 2. Callum Chambers, 3. Then you got really none in the midfield besides Willock and Emil Smith-Rowe, Saka, and then backup goalkeeper is one of them. We have a severe issue, bro. Severe issue. We can't ship out players and then bring in top quality players from across Europe. We have to actually look at buying English homegrown talent, or if we're going to do a signing, it has to be a player who's going to walk in and make a big difference. We can't go and spend money in the January transfer window on another player who will be dead wood in a year or two's time. For example, if we were to go buy Isco today, do you think Isco would bring any value to the club immediately, or do you think in the long run he would be more of a cost than a benefit? I think he'd be more of a cost in the long run.
Yeah, no, of course I agree with you. But players like the 2 players that I'd really like to get in this January transfer window, and I'm not saying that they will get us top 4, but I do genuinely think they'd get us top 6 at least. And I've been saying it for, well, since the transfer window begun, and that is Bissouma and Buendia. If you go and get them 2, you've then got a Bissouma who can play next to Partey. Bissouma can do more of the defensive work, whereas Thomas Partey is actually quite good going forward himself. He can offer us that. And then you've got Buendia in the number 10 role, or Emil Smith-Rowe. They can fight for their position between the 2 of them. Neither of them players are going to break the bank to go and get. They're not going to cost us an awful lot in wages either. And I just feel like if we go and get them 2, they're 2 players that are not only going to be...
Sorry.
That's all right, mate. They're not only going to be able to contribute to the team right now, but they could also be part of the future of the football club.
Brendan, we're looking at this as fans. Try to look at it for a second. Get your fan hat out. Forget about the fact that you're an Arsenal fan. Forget about everything else. Just look at it from the perspective of, does it make sense for the actual club to do what we're asking them to do? Does it make sense to go spend 80 million on a January window when they just borrowed 120 million from the government, okay, to make matters mean, right? In addition to that, you just paid Mesut Ozil 7 million to end his contract early, okay? You're going to be doing the same thing with Socrates, right? That's 2 players down. Now we finally have a big enough squad where we can register all our players, okay? Now, we still have a situation where we're thinking about loaning out our goalkeeper to bring in another backup goalkeeper in Runnerson, right? That's another priority. We have another issue with left back now. We realize we actually don't have an actual left back. Now that we've sold Kolasinac, we don't have a real backup left back. And we're going to probably end up playing Callum Chambers or Ainsley there now, right? Then you're asking me to bring in 2 more midfielders. The 2 midfielders we bring in, who from the squad is now going to be taken out of the 25-man squad again? Because you bring in 2 midfielders, who are you going to take out? Are you going to just unregister the academy kids? Because you can't do that, because we need to have at least 8 or homegrown players or 7 homegrown players. And then you have another issue. The whole reason why we got rid of Lucas Torreira and we got rid of Guendouzi is because of the homegrown issue. We have an issue with the homegrown. We don't have enough homegrown guys. So my thing is, if we're going to go out and you're going to try to say sign players in for the midfield now, you're going to say get improvements now. If we can't get the player we want, why not wait until the summer and get a Jack Grealish? Why not wait until the summer and get Basuma and Buendia if it means we can get both of them? Why not go get your first choice instead of getting your 3rd or 4th choice and then being stuck with another player you do not want in 2 years' time? We've done this too many times. We did it with Cedric last January. We didn't want Cedric. We panicked and we got him in. And you know what? We're stuck with a right back now for 4 years that we didn't want. I don't know why we gave him a contract, right? Pablo Mari looks like he was a good signing. Aubameyang looked like he was a good signing. Henrik Mkhitaryan became a flop quicker than he did anything. Like, his biggest contribution was against Everton in his first game at Arsenal.
Okay.
Now, Brendan, it's very depressing to say, but at this point, I've accepted the fact that I don't think we're going to be signing any players. And the reason why I say that is because this is a hard reset. This is a hard rebuild. And in order to rebuild, you first need to get your squad small enough in which you can maneuver in the summer without having to worry about contract issues. If we bring in a player right now with a big contract in January, Buendia would cost us probably 40 million, they're asking. Buendia is a good player. I rate him highly. I don't question the fact that he's worth 40 million. I question the fact, would it be the proper investment when you can go get a Ricky Puig in the summer, a young Barcelona academy player who could be our next Fabregas. You can go back in for Houssam Arwa with a couple more million on top of the 40 million and get a better, more developed player than Buendia. You can get a better player than Basuma. If they're asking 40 million for Basuma, get Declan Rice. We need homegrown players. Get Declan Rice, right? We need a midfielder who can attack. You know what? Save your money to get Jack Grealish in the summer. If I told you today we're not getting a midfielder, but it's guaranteeing you Jack Grealish in the summer, believe me, you're gonna say I want to guarantee Jack Grealish in the summer. But yeah, that's my soliloquy for today. That's what I think. I want to know what people in the comments think. I want to know what you think. Let me know. Is it worth the wait if it means we get quality? I think it is.
Let us know, people. Let us know. We got a couple of comments here anyway from Red Lucifer. Doubt Arsenal signing anyone in this January transfer window. Yeah, basically reiterating there what Egal was just saying. He says also, if you could sign one player, who would you like? And what's the priority position?
If I could sign one player, I would sign Jack Grealish. But that's not realistic. Does it have to be realistic?
Well, I would say Jack Grealish is realistic, you know, because although he's going to cost a lot of money, do you think he would come to Arsenal? If we actually put down the money for Jack Grealish, I think he'd come.
I think he would. I definitely think he would. I think he would be the man to take us over the line, and he would be our Bruno if we were to get Jack Grealish. That's what I'm saying. I don't know about Arwar. I hope he could be our Bruno. I don't know about Buendia. Could definitely do that also. But one thing I know for a fact is, from what I've seen from Aston Villa, Jack Grealish can literally raise the levels of a team. And he has the winning mentality that we've been asking for. And he's homegrown. Jack Grealish solves a lot of our issues. Get him in. Get him in. Get Jack Grealish to Arsenal. We killed two birds with one stone. Homegrown issue, down the drain. Attacking midfielder issue, down the drain. Star quality signing, down the drain. The best player at the club possibly for the next couple of years, and we can build around, right there. Solves a lot of issues. Ozil replacement, boom. That's what I think.
I have to agree with you, mate. I have to agree with you. But we are going to run through, obviously, one or two people that have been linked to the football club. We mentioned it earlier. Runnison could possibly be going out on loan. I think they've realised that Runnison is a bit of a bad investment. He's not ready for the football club as of yet. Maybe not ever at all. I was quite surprised when they decided to bring in a £1.5 million goalkeeper as a backup to Leno after letting Martinez go. I thought, yeah, you never know. I suppose, we paid peanuts for Martinelli and he turned out to be a good player. But just looking at the whole attributes of the guy, the fact that he's quite a small goalkeeper and stuff like that, he just doesn't look suited at all. It's looking like he could go on loan. What do you think he will go on loan?
I think they have bigger issues to worry about. I don't think they're gonna get a deal for another goalkeeper in time for Runnison to go on loan and for us to get a new goalkeeper in.
Okay,
we would have to get a second goalkeeper before we let Runnison go. And I don't know how likely it is for us to get a goalkeeper. But you probably have a link to a goalkeeper. What's the name?
Yeah. Well, we have been linked to Neto from Barcelona, second choice goalkeeper of Barcelona behind ter Stegen. Apparently, this was confirmed as well by Ronald Koeman, the Barcelona manager, that Neto has asked Barcelona to leave. Could we possibly go and get him?
Why
He's
would he
31
leave?
years old.
Why would he leave to be a backup?
That's true. That is true. I mean, he would certainly want some sort of guarantee that he's going to get playing time, that he's going to get the opportunity to challenge Leno for that number one spot. I can't see it happening personally.
Yeah, no, I don't see it. This is a man who used to start week in, week out for Valencia, moved to Barcelona and hasn't got really any game time at all. So why would he then put himself in another situation here at Arsenal? Unless he genuinely believes that he can take Leno's starting spot, I don't think he would come. And Runnison said this was going to make or break his career. It looks like it's broken him.
Yeah, no, I agree. And not only that, it'd probably cost around about the £20 million mark, And if you're going to go and do something like that, then you may as well have just kept Emi Martinez. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. The only other goalkeeper that we've really been linked to is Raya, David Raya from Brentford. We was linked to him in the summer as well before we brought Runnison. Could he possibly be the type of player who could come to Arsenal? I don't think he'd have so many issues playing backup, especially since he's joining from Brentford and coming to a big club. Could it be possible that we could go and get him?
He's the guy we should have went for instead of Runnison. We wasted $1 million. We wasted $2 million. Why are we always cheap? Why? Just you get the money for Martinez. Immediately go out there, get yourself another goalkeeper of note, somebody who at least has the size and the stature of a proper goalkeeper. Runnerson's only 2 inches taller than me, bro, and I'm 5'10". Like, this guy is 6 foot. Like, come on. Nah, man. Nah. We should have got this guy at Brentford. Brentford was doing a fire sale when they didn't get promoted. David Raya is, what's his name? David Raya or David Nera or whatever?
I think it's David Raya or David Raya or something like that.
David Raya, whatever his name is. If we would have got him in, I genuinely believe we wouldn't have to worry about our backup goalkeeping situation because he's a quality goalkeeper. And you know what? He could push Leno for that starting spot. That's how good he is. And you know what? Even that, listen to this. We could have got Jack Butland for $5 million. Why didn't we do that? We let Palace get Jack Butland. We could have got Jack Butland for 3.5 million, I think, actually. I forget how much Palace paid for him, but it's just simple things. We have a problem. We have an elitist mentality at Arsenal. And you know what? Look at the signings that have hit the ground and they've been good. The signings that have been good are the Pablo Maris, cheap signing. Martinelli, cheap signing. Saka, academy kid. Emil Smith-Rowe, academy kid. Right? Who's been good in the midfield? Really? Of note? Nobody really, except for Emil Smith-Rowe, who's an academy kid. Who's been good in the attacking third of things? Nobody really, except for the young kids, right? Who's been good in the defensive end? You know what? Rob Holding didn't cost that much. He's way better than David Luiz. David Luiz cost us 8 million. He's way better than Mustafi, right?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Gabriel, we paid for quality, we got quality. Partey, we paid for quality, we got quality. Shaka, we paid for something. I don't know what we got. So that's just because to show you, sometimes you can pay for quality, you get quality. When you try to be cheap, this is what you get.
Yeah, 100%. I agree again. And of course, we spoke a little bit about it earlier on. Kieran Tierney is now the only recognised left back at Arsenal, and it's possible that, you know, if he gets injured like he is doing now, we may have to play someone like a Maitland-Niles, or, you know, even Saka could drop into that position. But then I suppose if he drops into that position, we sort of lose a little bit from him in the attacking third as well.
Yeah.
I see it on Twitter this morning, mate. I know you know exactly what I'm going to say, don't you? Are we, or could we, complete the trio of Chelsea agents at Arsenal Football Club? Marcus Alonso. Honestly, I tell you what. Do you know what? Do you know what's so funny about this? I could actually see it happening. I really could.
So for anyone who doesn't know, the rumor is that Marcus Alonso could come to Arsenal on loan for the remainder of the season to help Arsenal through their time until they get an actual registered left back into the squad. Now, to me, it makes no sense at all. This rumor to me has absolutely no legs at all. I only mention it because it's a very provocative rumor, which sounds ridiculous. And for me, the only reason why I couldn't even find a registered article on the internet. I just found it on Twitter, and I was like, this is ridiculous. I have to tell people about it. To me, this is the agent doing a good job trying to get his player in the transfer window moved or in the eyes of other people. And I think he's probably going to end up in Atletico Madrid. But if he does somehow make his way in a red shirt on the red side of London, it better be at Brentford, not Arsenal.
Yeah, I agree with you. It would make no sense. It would make no sense. The guy can't defend to save his life. You know, he's not too bad going forward, but defensively, Jesus Christ. I mean, what a waste of money that would be. And he would command such high wages as well. It'd just be an absolute waste. It really would. So, yeah, I agree with you on that one. Obviously, we've spoken about Buendia and Basuma. But let's talk about one more player who could be moving on from Arsenal Football Club, and that is Socrates. There is rumours that he could well follow Mesut Ozil to Fenerbahce. Maybe Ozil's chucked that in as part of the deal and said, look, if you want me to come, you've got to send Socrates with me as well, because I need a bodyguard. I need someone who's big, who's going to defend my ass. And I can't have Kolasinac. He's already gone to Schalke. I need Socrates. What do you reckon?
I think that Socrates had a deal on the table to go to Italy, and Mesut Ozil convinced him to come to Turkey with him. And I think that you're 100% right. He wants his boys. And you know what? This goes to show you that there was a little clique in the Arsenal dressing room that was messing everything up. The clique of guys that are messing everything up. One, you have Mesut Ozil. 2, you have Said Kolasinac. 3, you have Socrates. 4, you have Mustafi. And then 5, the guy who plays every week, Granit Xhaka. And those guys are running the dressing room, causing mayhem, causing people to lose sight of the actual target. They're very influential on guys like Mohamed Al-Neni. They're very influential on some of the younger players. They're not as so influential on the guys like Aubameyang and Leno or Lacazette, but I can see that they've left a disdain in some players' mouths when going into match days. And you can see that sometimes some players look like they're not playing for the manager, but I feel like that's because in the back of their mind, they're thinking, my guy does not rate my friends. And they're almost like performing bad sometimes off the back of their thoughts of this is I don't want to say it, but like, I don't think they're not performing for Arteta, but they're almost doing stuff to spite Arteta because he's mistreated the whole Ozil situation and the whole situation with other people. But once again, it's not his fault. He couldn't play Mesut Ozil because we needed Chambers in the team just to make up the numbers, even though he was injured. We couldn't play Saliba because we needed Chambers in the team. If Saliba was homegrown, maybe he would have played, but he's not.
Maybe. What was I going to say? I can't. It's gone. It's gone. I've got a couple of comments here as well. Red Lucifer. What's your realistic prediction on Arsenal's position in the table come the end of the season with this current squad?
You want to go first?
With the current squad, I genuinely think that we will not. I think we'll get 10th. I genuinely do. I think it could even be lower than that, especially if we get a couple of injuries to a few key players. Like, for example, Smith Rowe is a bit of a key player in this side at the moment. You've seen since he came in how much more fluid we are attacking wise. Saka as well, he's another key player. I think certain things have to happen as well. Like, we talk about Mikel Arteta and how sometimes he has some favourites in the squad. I think Aubameyang needs to be dropped personally. I think he needs a bit of time out. He doesn't look the same guy. I don't want to see Willian, starting any games. And so far, Mikel Arteta has, kept him out the side, which, big up to him. I respect him for that. But I don't want to see him anywhere near it because I genuinely think that guy's came here for a payday and that is it. You can tell by his body language as well. When he's playing on the pitch, he's not interested in football anymore. He's here for his £220,000 a week wages and that is it. So there's certain things that Mikel Arteta's got to get right as well, with his managerial or management side of things, with his tactics and that as well. I think around about 10th.
Let's be honest, we can still mathematically get 4th, 5th. We can still mathematically win the league, right? It doesn't mean we're going to do it. What I think is going to happen is we're going to get an upturn in form near the back end of the season and find a way to squeak in to the top 6. But we're no longer this guaranteed top 4 team. And that's just the sad thing about it, mate. That's just the sad thing about it.
Okay.
It's just so bad, man. It's honestly, it's making me sound miserable.
Yeah.
Can I answer that? Egal, would you take the Arsenal? Would you take a player like Isco or Brandt on loan for the rest of the season? You know what? Only if we have no desire to sign them. If we take the player just to help us out and we have no desire to sign them, like how Bayern Munich did it with their signings, then maybe. But if we're signing them with the desire to sign them on a permanent 4-year deal or something like that, no. Because these players are not good enough to bring us back to the top. They're going to be another dead wood in a year's time.
Even Julian Brandt as well.
Bro, Julian Brandt has 2 goal contributions in the Champions League and the league combined this season.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not good enough, really. It's not good enough. I don't know. I really don't know why we look at these players. Look at these players abroad. Why don't we start looking a little bit closer to home, like like basically what you were saying? I know we need homegrown players, but
John McGinn,
you look at the way that
Douglas
Liverpool
Luiz.
rebuilt their squad. The
Just go
players.
to Aston Villa. Make them a feeder club. You know how Liverpool used to do Southampton? They would go to Southampton and just take everything. Let's go to Aston Villa and be like, we gave you guys Martinez, but we're taking everything else now. I would take Ollie Watkins over Lacazette right now.
Yeah, I agree. I'd also another football club that I'd go to and start picking players is Wolves. I'd love to have Ruben Neves. I'd love to have certain players like that.
Cadence, yeah.
I don't know. It baffles me. It really does. Red AFC 04 says he reckons we'll finish 9th. I would say you're probably in and around there. Egal, what do you want to see us doing in the summer?
Goalkeeper, midfielder, and right back. That can play left back also.
That's 4 players, yeah?
Yep.
4 players in the summer then. And yeah, that's about it, guys. We're going to wrap it up there. Thank you for tuning in, each and every single one of you. If you haven't already, smash a like on the video and subscribe. And yeah, let us know as well in the comments. Let us know what do you make of Mesut Ozil leaving Arsenal? Do you think we'll sign anybody in this January transfer window? And if so, who would you go and buy? Thank you for tuning in, and thank you as well, Egal, for jumping on, mate. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Big up to you. And go and check out Egal's channel as well if you haven't already. I'm saying it because I know there's certain people on here that already tune into your channel, but I'm going to say it anyway. And yeah, go and check out Egal. EGTV. He's making some mad moves at the moment. So
there you go.
But yeah, cheers, guys. Thank you very much, and I'll be back tomorrow for a match preview to the Newcastle game. That should be interesting as well.